Let's build on the year E7 class and write a date E7 class. We'll build up the class staff file in pieces. The properties will have their get and set access attribute set to private, so they'll only be accessible through the class methods. There'll be a property day, month, and year. Day and month will be integers, and year will be a year E7 object. The default value for this is January 1st in the year 1. We'll start the methods with just a very simple constructor. Pass it the day, the month, and the year. It creates a year E7 object from the Y value and assigns that to the year property of the object. M is assigned to the month property, and D is assigned to the day property. Of course, there should be error checking on many things, that there's 3 input arguments, that D, M, and Y are all integers and appropriate values, and so on. And you should add those. But for the purposes of this lecture, let's keep it simple so that we can focus on what we're trying to learn. The first method beyond the constructor that we'll add is called a static method. Since the static attribute of this will be true, I have to make a new methods block to separate it from the constructor, which is not static. The method is called M to M, and it simply converts an integer between 1 and 12 into a short abbreviation for a month name. It's certainly going to be useful in conjunction with these date E7 objects. So why is it called static? Well, this method is associated with the date E7 class. But when it's called, there's no date E7 object in its argument list, right? This is simply called with an integer between 1 and 12 to convert it to that character string. Such a method is called static. It's part of the class, but it doesn't operate on class objects. Here, I'm also making it private, so that only methods within the date E7 class can call it. Perhaps it's not useful outside the class, and there's no reason to expose it to the rest of the Matlab environment. Now, to call static methods such as this, a different syntax needs to be used. Notice that the method name M2M with its input argument is listed on the right-hand side, but there's also a date E7 and a period. This is because it's in the date E7 class, but the input argument is not a date E7 object. If there wasn't that prefix of date E7, Matlab would not know where to find this M2M method. All static methods are called in this way: class name, dot, method name, and then the input argument list.